Guys, what are we doing here? I wanted to talk about new Hearthstone cards, but the meta's absolutely been overrun by this new testing dummy warrior, and I just want to say, what a dumb Hearthstone card. I mean, regardless of whether or not you like this card or you absolutely hate it, that is a true statement. This is a dumb Hearthstone card because it is literally called testing dummy. You can't call me out for clickbait. That's exactly how it is, and today we're going to be talking about what exactly is going on with this deck and how exactly it became popular because Deios Mech Warrior, there is someone that made a post on Reddit, and I'm not going to go through the entire thing. I'm just going to show the only thing that matters. He went 30-5 with it. That's an obscene win rate, and a lot of people have been trying out this deck and trying out different variants of it, but today I'm going to show you guys two lists. The one that's in this post and the one that I ended up going up against on ladder. I just copied the guy's deck after he beat me with it because it was the very first time I saw it, and I was like, what is this? Is this normal? Is this a typical deck that we're going to be seeing on ladder? And I hate to say it, this is probably going to be a deck you are for sure going to see on ladder due to the fact that it is dealing an ungodly amount of damage before turns like 7 or 8. So this is the deck that the post was referring to, and it's a very simple, straightforward strategy. The whole point of this deck is to draw out all of the minions that you can, so that way you can have your Lord Deios as well as your testing dummy ready to go. You need these cards as part of the combo, and you can cheat these cards out by playing Chemical Spill in order to throw out the Deios for 5 mana, and you can of course play the testing dummy for 1 or 0 mana, depending on how many part scrappers that you have played. But the general idea is to play Chrono Lord Deios into a very cheap testing dummy, and then you just throw out all of your boom wrenches. So like let's just think about how much damage this is. So in case you guys are not aware, Deios triggers all death rattles twice. Every single one of them. Kind of hard to see the ability, but your battle cries, death rattles, and hero power and end of turn effects trigger twice. This means that when you play the boom wrench as a death rattle and you destroy it, you are going to trigger the death rattle of one testing dummy 4 times. One weapon being destroyed is going to activate its death rattle twice, which will activate this death rattle twice each time, essentially meaning that one testing dummy, when you activate Boom Wrench, is going to deal 32 damage. Now, I want you guys to imagine what happens when you play all 4 Boom Wrenches in one turn, because what you can do is easily just set up this 3 mana weapon, have it equipped, play your Chemical Spill for 5 mana, potentially play your testing dummy for 0, and then you can play the second 3 mana Boom Wrench into both 1 mana copies, and then you can just attack with that last weapon, and you can literally activate the death rattle 4 times, dealing overwards of 100 damage. And the worst part about this combo is the fact that it's not deal 8 damage, death rattles activate, deal 8 damage, death rattles activate. The way that it happens is that it deals the straight 32 damage on the field, then the death rattles will resolve itself, and then you just get to do it all over again. So if you have a board against this deck, it doesn't matter because you just are not going to be able to set up enough HP and enough beef on the board in order to absorb all of the hits that this deck is definitely going to be throwing at you. So it looks like this deck has some very real possibility of being one of the best, if not the best, new deck in the game. And there's another way that I have to prove this point. So in China, they're currently having their autumn qualifiers for their World Championship tournaments. And well, I think you guys can easily pick up on what I'm trying to lay down. 7 out of 8 competitors brought Mech Warrior, and I feel like the only reason why this guy brought Quest Warrior is because Quest Warrior is a pretty decent deck, and No Hands Gamer recently hit rank 1 legend with it, so there's some very real potential for Quest Warrior to be decent, especially against things like Fireact Rogue and maybe against Starship DK. I'm not too sure about, the meta in terms of these decks, because I really don't want to play these decks, but there is clearly a lot of people that are realizing the power of Mech Warrior, even on different servers, and they are just running with it. And personally, I gotta be honest, I don't like this deck being a thing. I think that 100 plus damage is a little bit too much by turn 7, turn 8. I remember when Nature Shaman was getting flack for dealing 30 by turn 6, so dealing twice that amount of damage by like turn 7 or turn 8, maybe even 3 times that amount of damage, I feel like there should be somewhat of a negative reaction to this. But what do you guys think? Do you think this deck is fun? Do you think this deck is interesting? Or do you think that this is just another example of a combo deck that has gone just a little too far? But the last thing that I want to bring up is that this is the version of the deck that I was trying out, and honestly, I don't think it's horrible. I think New Heights is a pretty decent card just so that way you're not stuck into like the 10 mana combos that usually can happen with Boom Wrench, because if you have everything, you know, perfectly sorted out, you could do this combo for like 10 mana because you already need to have the Boom Wrench equipped and double Part Scrapper played. But I kind of like the idea of New Heights so that way you have a little bit more wiggle room. There's also Siphoning Growth in order to get another proc out of the testing dummy in case you do not have both of your Boom Wrenches. So there might be a little bit of reason to run this card in this deck if you're trying to maximize the potential of it. But to be honest, dude, this is just a deck to where by turn 8, if you can deal over 100 damage, optimizing the deck for every single card really doesn't matter at that point, because the only thing that really matters is discounting, mana cheating, and eventually pulling off the combo. Maybe you need double Chemical Spill, and maybe you need Tortola for adding consistency, but this version of the deck is just all in on popping off the combo as quickly as humanly possible. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like I said earlier, I think this deck just deals a little bit too damage a bit too quickly. And honestly, I just do not like the idea of cards like Testing Dummy being a good card, because the only reason why this card is even good to begin with is not because it is strong, it is because we have nerfed everything around it to not be as strong. And now finally it's been pushed over the edge, and everything else that used to keep it in place is no longer doing anything for it. So I really don't like this archetype existing. I hope Blizzard does something in the future in order to potentially pull this archetype back by either dealing with Part Scrapper, dealing with the dummy itself. I really hope they don't go after Lord Deios, because I'm gonna be honest, I think it is the coolest card in this set. It may be very powerful, but that's exactly why the card was made. There are certain cards that may be able to, you know, do a lot more with it, but Chrono Lord Deios is one of the most interesting cards in this set, and I do not want it to hit a hit for something as stupid as Dummy Warrior being popular again. But thank you guys so much for making it to the end of this deck breakdown, and we'll see you for the next video, where hopefully it will be about 20% less dumb. This feels like he did it too soon. No! Holy shit, really? Oh my god! Oh my god, I'm just now realizing why it's so insane. Because when one Death Rattle procs, it procs the Death Rattle of the dummy twice. And then when the second Death Rattle procs of the weapon, because it's a Death Rattle, it procs the dummy again. Jesus fucking God. Oh my lord, that's so much damage. That is a ridiculous amount of damage. Okay, yeah, testing dummy is probably on the chopping block at this point.
Go on, take a bite.
All right, well, this guy's for sure playing some Rafaam. This might be a blessing in disguise, but it might feel bad for now. Maybe we can get some second Yor with some second breakfast.
Into the Timeways.
I feel like I'm in a dentist office reading a Magic magazine from 2 years ago. The doctor will see you now. I might need to look at some other lists on HS Guru. I'm not sure if this is the perfect list, but it does feel like this is definitely a solitaire type of deck. So this way we don't overdraw. I want to save the safety goggles for when I do the Part Scrapper. And if we already have plenty of mana, or if we already have plenty of armor for it, then spend the 2 mana shouldn't be a problem. Don't have the glories yet. That DK was nasty. I'm trying to figure out if it was possible to win that last game. I mean, if I had second weapon, then yeah, because then I have 4 weapon death rattles. If I could have, you know, played that and then played Siphon Growth, like, that's the most maximum amount of damage. This is basically a free matchup. I hate to say it, but if you're going up against a Rafaam matchup, for every deck, it's a free matchup. It took me a minute to say that out loud, sorry. But Rafaam Warlock is in a really bad spot right now in terms of power. And it makes sense. I mean, you have to actually play the game. Some of these other decks that are like really popping off right now aren't exactly playing the game, if you know what I mean. The only thing I'm really missing right now is my glories. That hurts to see for me, man. I don't want to eat an Ancient of Yore like that. I don't want this. I don't want to condemn this Yore violence. Doesn't sit well with me, man. There are 37 cards Rafaam never played. But what the hell? He passes his turn? Brother, I passed my turn because there's nothing I can actually do. You pass your turn because I think you've just given up.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know what's happening here.
All are nourished when the cycle renews.
I had 128 on 10. 144 with coin and siphoning growth. I don't think you need the coin, right? This does draw like Yore.
Make haste. I grow weary.
This is so unfair, dude. Do you have to play exactly the Rafaams that got added to your deck, or do other Rafaams count as well? I mean, you have to play the Rafaams that were added to your deck with the Fabled card. If you were to add any other Rafaams, it wouldn't matter. It's just those specific Rafaams.
I remember this place well.
At the same time, you also have New Heights. Wait a minute, chat. We're all stupid. We forgot about New Heights being in the deck in order to raise our mana cap. We don't need coin.
Time's running out.
Yeah, this deck might just be a little too stupid. I kind of wish this Warlock had like infinite life, so I could take it away and showcase how much of a problem this is.
Few cards remain.
Chemical Spell literally being the last card. Do I even have enough mana to do this now? I do not. So we'll just do this then.
I will not.
All right, come on, man. Give yourself some life.
I am a rush of cards.
All are nourished when the cycle renews.
All right, guys, we win. I think we have enough damage. Hi, Clarky Poo. Are you going to BlizzCon? I want to go to BlizzCon. Yes. Will I go to BlizzCon? I cannot confirm yet. But maybe if I win as many card games as I can, my sheer skill will just get me invited to BlizzCon one way or another. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Hold on. Can I play my cards, Blizzard? This game is broken. Game broken. Game, please. Game broken. Miss lethal last turn? I'm aware. I'm aware that I missed lethal last turn. It's about showcasing the absurdity about how much damage this deck actually deals. That's what I'm showcasing right now. It does a metric crap ton of damage. There were 2 death rattles that I didn't even proc on that, and I also could have killed the minion. That's like another upwards of like 70 damage. I just always feel like it's important to understand that like I'm only playing this deck in order to get a couple of clips with it, and then I don't touch it. I don't touch it ever again. I don't understand the Deios reference for Final Fantasy. So in one of the Sephiroth in the Sephiroth song, there's a line of vocals that essentially say something along the lines of Deios. I don't know the exact what the next phrase is, but it's like da 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 pat facios or something like that. Dere ore facios. Like it's some kind of weird Latin thing. I don't know Latin and I don't know how to replicate it. But in the flavor text of Deios, it goes Dei Aios. And in my opinion, it sounds like it's a Final Fantasy reference to that song from Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII. I don't know, dude. Like I've been streaming for like 4 hours, and I still have like so many decks I'm interested in right now. All right, second part scrapper.
Keeping the timelines clean.
Okay, yo, chill, dude.
Like clockwork.
He's gonna steal my minions now. Wait, hold on. Don't we want him to have big minions? Because then we could just knock him down harder. And now I could do this. All right, we're gonna let him cook.
Keeping the timelines clean.
Oh my god. Okay, hold on. This might be too much beef.
Like clockwork.
I need to hit the Crocolisk. Okay, this draws the dummy. We're pretty close to lethal here.
My god, how does he do it? Clark HELLSCREAM, the best Hearthstone player that ever lived.
I will not be denied. This fool beat peace well known.
Oh no! 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 I hate it! No! 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 Please! For the love of God, no! Oh! Oh my God! Oh no! You have to chat. You have to know what he's about to be. What he's trying to do. I need the other weapon. Wait, Siphon Growth? Is just enough? Which one is worse? OTK, you know, from hand warrior or OTK from hand priest? I also had an extra reserve 16 damage. Pretty good. Pretty good. It's pretty degenerate. I say